Where is the new gen version of Rust console? A lot of the community are starting to have suspicions as to where this game is going to come out. There's a huge question raised by a lot of the community, and myself included to an extent, as to where this game is and why is it dipping in and out of how much we can know about this game, because I think the best way to put it is that it is pretty secretive at the moment. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Rust console video. Once again, we're going to be going through a question that I deem a lot of you are asking at this moment in time. I want to try and throw my 2 cents in as to where I think I stand in this kind of conversation. And obviously in the comments section, you guys can have at it with whatever your takes are over this. So I got sent this from the Rust console Discord, and this has sort of sparked today's video. So this is from the user Ricky. With the confirmation of hot air balloons, all of the gameplay teasers I feel like is proof that the game is quite clearly up and running to a certain point. This has just got me questioning, what is the point of all the secretiveness? Let's just separate Rust from other games for a second. When has secretiveness ever benefited a company coming out with an entirely new product? First, you were just silent, left us to dry and just wondered what was going on. And then you finally give us some life and tell us you're working on the next gen version. Now everyone is excited, the hype is obviously building, and surely we'll get some great looks at it. Well, a couple gameplay teasers is nice, yes. A literal required graphic overhaul and game optimization. This has been needed since launch anyways. And only one confirmed piece of content coming to the game after 9 months of strictly quality of life changes. And to make it even better, we have given zero transparency on even a possible release season. It has been generally baffling me lately as to how incompetent the devs have been during this time. If this was any other game, the company would have been kicked off the project long ago, as well as the game 99% of the time would have died. We have gone nearly double-digit months without real content. If it wasn't for Facepunch consistently showing what good devs can do to a game, showing people that this game can be amazing, we wouldn't be talking about Double 11 anymore. Now, for any user that is in the Rust console Discord, you can go to this thread. I believe it's in Tell the Devs. Him and some other person basically have at it with this conversation and debate. There are a lot of points that both on the fence make, and it's quite entertaining to look at it, to be honest. So the first point Ricky makes is that we've seen little clips and graphical comparisons, as well as the first content update, which is hot air balloons. So why are we being all secretive about this? The thing is, this sort of stems back to last year. I mean, look, we can congratulate and give appraisal to Double 11 and the devs for doing what they did with the optimization of both new and old gen. But for me, for my channel, I'm always kind of playing devil advocate here. I always like to present the positives and negatives about these. So apart from obviously the appraisal of Double 11 bringing the game to console, I wouldn't have this channel if it weren't for the game and them. But when we talk about transparency, which was obviously dropped in the dev blog, we go back to September time up until I believe January. We didn't have pretty much anything. We got told that we would get a quality of life update, and this quality of life update spanned over, I believe, 2 months. We hadn't really had any content. Better yet, we didn't have any transparency from Double 11 from that point. And all the people in the Discord can say, well, you get official info from the Discord. Not everyone is in the Discord. And when you go over to Twitter, when you go over to Instagram, there's not that many replies, especially in that time period. We're talking before 2025. There was very, very little to nothing in terms of communication with the community. This leads me to think that there was a transition where Double 11 didn't call the shots to make the new gen version. I could be wrong, just my opinion, but again, like Ricky said, it would baffle me if they were to do a flip 180, because a couple months ago they said from 2024 they had said that we're still going to continue to optimize for old gen because a large portion of the community is on there, and now they've done a 180 and we're now getting the new gen version. That obviously leads me to believe that it wasn't their call to do this, alongside the lack of communication that they had given the community. And also what he points out is that they came out the gates flying, saying, you know, from literally 0 to 100, it just went, you know, the community just went wild. Oh my god, we're going to get new gen version, we're going to get better graphics, we're going to get optimization. New graphic comparisons had dropped, and you know, it was great. And it's almost like it's a stock graph where it goes really high and then it drops. It's like it rallies up and then it drops, and then it kind of is like up and down. Oh, we're gonna get something. Oh, we're back down again. And that's sort of how it's felt like. And when you really think about it, the thing, let's kind of put it down at face value as to what they've done already. So they've given us graphical comparisons and little gameplay clips here and there. This needed to be done anyway because the graphics were bad. The graphics are not great on this game whatsoever. If you think the graphics are the same from the new gen version to the current version of the game, you need your eyes checked. But like, it was to be expected that we should get a graphic overhaul. And now we only know we're going to be getting hot air balloons. Now, do I think we'll get more on the release of the game? We should. And obviously they're saving a lot of stuff to build hype, because, you know, if they were to even out what was coming to this game like month by month, then when it comes to releasing the game, there might not be as much hype. But I'd still counter that argument and say, well, you know, it keeps on sort of dying. I'll be real, the hot air balloon update didn't receive that well with the community in terms of hype. I've seen the community a lot more excited for updates such as oil rig, for example, than hot air balloons. And hot air balloons is going to be the first vehicle update we're going to be getting on this game. And there wasn't that much hype. The reason being, people are just like, yeah, can you just give us the game now? Which leads us on to basically the topic of today's video. 8 minutes in, got there just in time. Should the game just get released as it is and then have monthly updates? That's what Jade has been saying. That's what a lot of the community kind of want, because they're tired of waiting. Because at this moment in time, if you're a player of Rust console or a content creator and you play the game, you earn sort of a living off of it and it's your income, you know, you've had the same game for half a year now. You can have as many great experiences as you want, but at the end of the day, apart from a really good wipe with some good PvP, updates is what gets people watching your videos and wanting to learn more about the game. And when there's not been an update in over 6 months, that's when content really does get dry. Do I think the game would do better if they brought it out and then done monthly updates? Of course, I do really believe that, because if they had said they would bring the game out as it is, whatever stage it's at, in May for the 4th year anniversary, what a better time to do it, by the way. And then you rally the marketing saying, we've got this coming, we've got that coming, we've got this in the works, we're going to be putting that on the PTB. The hype will just be immense. And I do have faith that Double 11 will deliver in that sense, but I just think they could have done it a lot better. And Ricky here closing out his final point, basically saying 99% of the time the game would have died. Correct, the game would have died months ago. Basically, the only reason why Rust console is still a game that's being made is because of how well it's doing over at Rust PC. If this was a game that Double 11 had done from scratch, or they had just taken as it is and they're up to this point, it would have died. If there was no existing PC version of the game, it would die. But this is a thing I've always had. I always had that Double 11 could do better, and I always want to believe that there's reasoning behind it as to why they're doing certain things and the manner in which they're doing them, because there's clearly not much they can talk about, which is kind of scary, because a lot could be in progress and they just don't want to shoot themselves in the foot. But also on the flip side, they're just ironing out these final bits with like hot air balloons, and then they're going to say, oh yeah, we've got hot air balloons coming to the game and new graphics and optimization. Do you know what I mean? But I really truly hope, I do think they will pull through with this. A huge thing as well is the roadmap that will come after the launch of the game. I'm pretty sure before the launch of the game they'll come up with a roadmap, and this is a thing that is obviously going on behind the scenes as well. They're ironing through the details of what they're going to be bringing on the roadmap. This roadmap needs to be good. And if we're talking now, it's easier to bring stuff to the game because of the consoles it's been run on. This means we could or should get monthly updates. So, you know, there's a lot of planning to take into consideration. I do agree with a lot of Ricky's points. Whether or not he's coming at it with a negative attitude or positive, I do not know. But the positive, you know, what I'm taking from this, a lot of it I agree with. You're welcome to obviously look at the thread. It's like tell the devs or something like that. And there's a whole conversation going on there. I do agree, but I'm not coming at it from a negative standpoint, if that makes sense. Let me know what you guys think. Would you prefer Rust console as is on the next gen version, the new gen version, without sort of updates, just bring it out and then do monthly updates? Or would you rather new content when the game releases? I'll put a poll up as well when this video goes live, so you can vote over there. Leave a comment down below as to what you think about this. Subscribe if you're new around here. And as always, take it easy. See you in the next one.